Some people are natural journalists. Others are natural teachers. Rod Gelatt is both. Everyone figured that out pretty quickly. At age 9, the probing pressman from Des Moines asked his mother, "Why do I have to wear these knickers?" That's when Rod heard a phrase uttered by mothers since the dawn of time. "Because I said so." Thus began Rod's passion to ask the tough questions of those in charge. At age 11, writing under the mysterious pseudonym Roddy Gelatt, the cub reporter regaled readers of the Des Moines Register and Tribune with the tale of his wandering dog, Mac. Whenever Mac ran away, Roddy's family placed a want ad in the newspaper. As if by magic, and usually within minutes of the ad, Mac came home on his own. Such was the power of the newspaper's want ads. Not surprisingly, the publisher loved it. A stellar student, Rod graduated from Roosevelt High School in 1944. With the world at war, Rod joined the U.S. Army Air Corps, which later became the U.S. Air Force. When he left the service, Rod used the GI Bill to attend Drake University. While there, his news-writing teacher asked him if he'd ever considered a career in radio, because you have the voice for it. So Rod transferred to the University of Iowa in Iowa City. Here's the big man on campus, getting ready to roll. At Iowa, Rod was ahead of his time, experimenting with alternative lifestyles. Looking good in a dress led him to a lifelong love of the theater. A radio journalism major excelled at University Station WSUI before graduating in 1950. Sensing a future greatness in him, Jack Shelley, news director of WHO Radio Des Moines, hired Rod as a reporter and broadcast newsman for the early morning shift. Rod followed in the WHO footsteps of a fellow named Ronald Reagan. Station management enthusiastically sung Rod's praises with such superlatives as, "You'll like Rod Gelatt's delivery of the 7:30 a.m. news Monday through Saturday." When WHO got TV broadcasting equipment, Rod went from radio broadcaster to TV reporter overnight. No training necessary. He stayed at the station until 1957, where the man with the pipes was known for his love of pipes. Rod claimed it was a handy prop when someone asked you a question. You could tend to the pipe and look thoughtful while trying to come up with an answer. This thoughtful journalist had other interests beyond the news. For example, he always got involved in his community. Here he is with his Matigua Indian Dancers Explorer Boy Scouts, instructing a new member. That instruction came in handy on a hiking trip in Arizona when the great scout leader lost 2 of his scouts. The boys went missing but were fine. They used Rod's training to stay safe until 2 Native Americans found them and returned them to camp. Rod wrote about it for WHO Radio. Rod's love of teaching soon extended beyond the Boy Scouts to the classroom. These are the journalism students he taught at Washington and Lee University in Virginia in the late 1950s. In 1959, he returned to the University of Iowa to be the executive assistant to the director of the Iowa Journalism School. He also worked on his master's degree. More importantly, during that summer of 1959, Rod met his future wife. Andy was an occupational therapy student doing an internship at the university. They met taking disabled children to Mass on Sunday. Rod claims Andy took an interest in him because of his brand new Robin Blue Chevy Impala convertible. But Andy says it was really because of one little girl's wheelchair fit nicely into his car's trunk. They were married on April 8, 1961, at the church where they met. With a wife, the first of 2 sons, and a master's degree in hand, Rod joined the faculty of the world's finest school of journalism in 1963. Rod served as news director in the black and white film days of KOMU-TV, when much of the news and commercials were done live, in studio. He finally got rid of the flat top in the mid-1960s, and eventually ditched that pipe too, when Rod's 2 boys badgered him to get rid of that smelly thing. Rod anchored both the 6 p.m. and the 10 p.m. news on Channel 8, while teaching and supervising students. He also covered the news himself. On Monday nights, armed with a meatloaf sandwich, our intrepid reporter would cover Columbia City Council meetings. He'd film parts of the meeting, edit the film, write the story, and air it. He was the original one-man band. In 1974, Rod returned to his first love, becoming news director of KBIA Radio and teaching young broadcast majors how to write. But he didn't completely give up TV. From 1980 to 1993, Rod was executive producer and moderator of KOMU's award-winning weekly public affairs program, Missouri Forum.
Thank you and welcome to Missouri Forum. I imagine this Missouri Forum will be somewhat different from many that you've seen and listened to in the past.
From 1986 to 1992, Rod also served as chairman of the Radio-TV Broadcasting Department at the J School. The awards, honors, and accolades Rod received during his 45 years with the Missouri School of Journalism are far too numerous to mention. But in 2011, the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences inducted Rod into the prestigious Gold Circle during the 35th Mid-America Emmy Awards in St. Louis. Even after retiring, Rod has continued working for the school and community he loves. Among many activities during his 53 years in Columbia, Rod has served on the Columbia Convention and Visitors Board, chaired the Missouri Retirees Association, performed with the Columbia Entertainment Company, volunteered with Meals on Wheels, and helped out at the university whenever they needed an event narrator with the voice of God. Professor Emeritus Rod Gelatt has touched and influenced the lives of hundreds of journalism students. Family man Rod Gelatt has helped raise 2 accomplished sons and traveled the world with his beloved wife. His is a life that stands as a role model for us all.